Okay, so we have a special edition of One More Strongcast this week. We are talking with Samantha Belliveau from Canada. She's the one, her and Maxime Boudreau are running the Lift for JF. So thanks for talking to us, Sam.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely a great cause. I actually want to have you on at a later date on the podcast because I want to talk about your performance at the Arnold that you just totally dominated.
Yeah, we can absolutely do another podcast and
So,
talk about.
but yeah, but congratulations on that performance. It was a blast to watch. You just the competitive. I love watching the women compete, and just your intensity was just it was insane to watch.
Thank you. I really it was something I was it was building inside of me for a long time, and I really needed to experience that competition floor and to be able to really perform like I wanted to perform was just, it was cherry on top. It was great. It was the
Yeah.
overall, and yeah.
Did you have to go in 6 for 6? Did you win every event? We didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't watch. We left on Sunday because actually a good friend of ours was competing against you, and she was fourth going into the press medley. Katie Gutwald.
Okay. Yeah.
And she was fourth, and her pressing is probably her weakest event, and she was fourth, so she ended up falling back in the placing and not making the finals. So we had planned to go Friday, Saturday, and stay Sunday. Obviously, if she made the finals, we were going to go Sunday. Well, she missed the finals, so we actually went home Sunday morning. So
yeah, so I went into day 3. I had win all 4 events going into finals, and then I tied first place for the squat and the stone. So it was really cool.
yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good friends too with Jessica Thinker, so I like watching her. I was rooting for her, going up a weight class from lightweight to middle. So
yeah, it was really have her compete with me. We're very, very good for each other on the comp floor for sure. And it was nice for my gym 2 weeks ago, so we were able to get a couple last sessions together.
Oh, that's cool. That's the cool thing about the sport is like even though on the arena you're battling each other, but everybody's still such good friends and you train together and help each other and then root for each other. Because I noticed a lot of times you normally finish before her on the sandbag toss and the wheelbarrow medley, but then you turn around once you celebrated, you were turning around screaming for her to finish. So that's always neat to see where like you're friends, but you're head to head and you're battling. So it's just that's what I like about this sport.
Yeah, I mean, once you hit the comp floor, like you're in your lane and you do your own jam, but just know that the guy beside you is doing the exact same thing, right? Like for me, like it's not about like I do love winning, I do love number one, but I do love fucking just being so badass with a bunch of badass women's. It's what it's all about. We give it literally everything that we have in ourselves. So it's really cool just to being able to accomplish something with a bunch of other ladies beside me.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. Hopefully, you get to compete in the pro class next year because those girls were phenomenal all weekend. Like we watched them more than we watched the men, and I'd love to see you in that class going up against some of them girls.
I'll be there, but I have lots of work to do.
Yeah, well, you could bump your weight up. That you don't got a weight cut since it's open, so you can go in a little bit heavier and see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But I want to talk about JF. So Lift for JF. This is something that you and Maxime come up with to help kind of raise money for him.
Yes. So Max and I were on our way back home after what was just the most craziest weekend. Like we cried, we laughed, it was so emotional, like in all ups and downs. And our only thought was JF. Like we were just, on our way home. We knew he wasn't able to come home with us that day because he was going to get surgery and then fly home. So we thought, what can we do? We have our biggest, greatest Canadian mentor that has fallen, and we know that, he won't be able to compete for X amount of months. We don't know how long JF is gone for. So we know that his main base of income now is going to be jeopardized. So we just thought of what can we do and like we knew there was a GoFundMe page already set up, but we wanted to make something a little bit more exciting. Max and I have been hosting competitions now ever since we met. So for over 3 years, and we just kind of love the adrenaline of being a meet director as well. So we chatted with JF. JF said, absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah.
So so we'll be doing a 3 RM on our circus dumbbell. We'll do a 5 RM, 30 seconds deadlift with a max 25 feet yoke. So athletes are able to register up until tomorrow night with a $50 registration, or you can donate to whatever you want to donate to JF's donations. And then starting next week, we will be taking on videos from whoever wants to compete. I'm not sure if you were able to check out the prize money and the prizes that were posted. It's just phenomenal to see how much support we've had with this competition so far, and I can't wait to see a success out of this really last minute yet very successful competition.
Yeah, so real quick. So you talked to JF, like let everybody know there's a list on like how is he doing? Like, I mean, he's back home. He said he had a surgery. Like, what are, is he in good spirits? I mean, is he?
Yeah, so we have been chatting with JF daily, sending text messages back and forth, and he sent us yesterday he was in the helicopter or jet, whatever he was in, and he was, smiling, which made us really smile with that. Just knowing that he is in good spirit, considering, like Jeff is alive and he is about able to breathe another day, which is like, at the end of the day, you got to be very grateful to be able to wake up and be who you are. Now, Jeff won't be able to, yes, compete for X amount of months, but he's going to be there in spirit. He's still going to be a great mentor for the sport. He is still going to make appearance. I'm sure of that. But yes, JF is doing good. He is now home. I know they had a hospital bed ready for him, and he's recovery has already started. So we're very excited to see where Jeff can turn this around and come back from.
Yeah, I know being there watching it happen live. Like I said, we were there. Like, I was about 10 rows back, so we couldn't see real good. But the injuries are part of the sport. We all know that. We all take those risks. And there are sometimes it could be, there is stuff that can happen and it can be life-threatening. And people have died doing this sport, just like anything else you do in life.
Yeah.
But the scary thing was when it happened, I know a few people were on scene and they start waving it, and they brought the whole staff, like all the volunteers, to kind of surround what was going on. And as a spectator, we could see a lot of you guys going up and looking and walking away, and just like because you can't do much. You're not medical personnel. Like, that's your friend, but like, okay, get out of the way, let them do their job. You just see on the faces of the athletes and the people, like, it wasn't good. And it was so scary for us to watch because we had no clue how bad it was. You start thinking the worst because you're like, is something happened? Is he moving? Is he unconscious? Is like, so it was nice when they finally took him off, to see the thumbs up. But man, that place just went quiet, and we were all just thinking about JF.
Yeah, he was quite an atmosphere dropped. I think everything went absolutely quiet there for a bit. And when you know JF, you know how strong this human being is emotionally and physically. And we've all witnessed this at last World's Strongest Man, where he tore his hamstring on that yoke in the I think it was during the yoke to frame medley, or the yoke was during the round robins, and then going to the finals, he had a checked out, and he had one or two, it was a tear in his hamstrings, and still JF battled to the finals and still made it top 5. Like, JF will battle physically and emotionally so hard, and knowing that, seeing JF on that moment on the floor, not even moving and not saying anything, we just, we knew something was up. And Max has been looking up to JF now for years and years, right? Like, we're talking about over 10 years, and JF has just been really, really a good mentor for us. Great best friend. Like, we really, really love JF, and it was a downer. But we do, again, at the end of the day, we do know that we're putting our bodies into some really scary situation. Yeah. Like, when you're talking about a 1,500 pound yoke, like, you're talking about putting your body into a very stressful situation. Now, he had a 420 log. That is a very stressful situation for your body. So we do know that there is a lot of stress that comes in to what we do. But it never occurs to you that when someone drops like that that shouldn't happen, right? Like, we don't want it to happen. So it was a very unfortunate situation for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, shit happens. It was funny. So they were trying to kill time. And I don't know if you were listening at all to what like Magnus was saying, but he had commented. He's like, "Oh, I've seen people get hurt." He's like, "I've seen people die." And my wife's like, "Did he just fucking say he saw people die?" Like, we're thinking the worst for JF. We're like, okay, well, I hope he's okay. I hope it's just they're taking precautionary. Don't want to move. Maybe he hit his head, because we're like, did the log fall when he hit his head? Are they just making sure he's mobile? And then Magnus was talking about he's seen people die. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you say that? Like, we're all thinking the worst, and then you're
Yeah.
talking about that. So it was not. It was nice. It was so weird because, like, I'm on my phone, people trying to update, and I guess they had to take him off on the platform because they were pulling stuff up, and we're like, I don't understand what they're doing. And
They
then
had to take,
he's
yeah,
just too big to put on a stretcher, or they don't have a stretcher big enough to, so they had to like carry him off the platform, which is just insane to me. That level of athletes, and for as much money that goes into the Rogue and Arnold, that they don't have better, you
I
know.
know. There was a couple of things that were kind of, I think, talked about afterwards where like things should have been placed and were asked to be put in place that weren't. Like paramedics weren't there. They should have been there. Like things like that. And I think moving forward, Rogue and the Arnold will only get things really fired up for the next upcoming contest. But yeah, JF's got an amazing group system from the Arnold and Rogue. So he was, after when he was taken out of the platform, he was really well taken care of from what we know.
Yeah, yeah, it's just weird to me. Even local competitions like that, they don't. As a promoter, like I said, you and Max promote shows, and I've promoted shows before. Like, you really should have some kind of medical personnel, even if it's just an EMT or a volunteer fireman or someone that knows something at least, instead of just a bunch of us Google and shit. Hey, what do we
Yeah,
do? Like, I mean, someone should be there to take charge and say, hey, we need this, or let's do this, because, and I'm sure people there know they have people on staff, but something serious and traumatic is what happened to JF. Like, there should be someone there stat like knowing exactly what to do.
yeah, completely agree. We
So
tend to like either nurses or we'll like warn like the department that we have something going on here. I think that's super important. Yeah, especially when you're talking about a world class event.
yeah. So like it's just I mean it's just safer for everybody. So talk a little more about, so we went through the events. You said JF actually picked the events. So when I see that he was picking events, I knew there wouldn't be no log, because that would just be like, he's not going to pick a log rep. So
And
the
then
dumbbell.
that's why there's no squat. So to clarify that, as a judging standpoint, you guys have no idea how fucking hard it is to judge a squat online.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we said, okay, no squat, please, no log. And then, yeah, but you know what? Jeff was really happy to help us out planning this comp. So it was cool.
Yeah, it's cool to have him involved, because a lot of times you see, and you mentioned before with this sport, like it's a family thing, and even people at the lower levels, when they get hurt and GoFundMe's go up, people are there to help. I mean, like for us amateur athletes, I have a job, I have benefits through my job. This is my hobby.
Yeah.
But if I get hurt to the point that I can't work, I know one of my friends, someone's going to put up a GoFundMe, hey, to help cover certain bills. And on our level, yeah, we kick in money. So it's nice with JF. I mean, you mentioned Brian Shaw, Stoltman being involved, Anthony Furman with the strength lead.
Yeah.
Like all his friends, I wouldn't be surprised if more don't jump in, because it's such a brotherhood. Just attaching their name to it and them sharing it and getting out there, more people are going to kick it out. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, hopefully it weighs, I don't know how much you're thinking, you're hoping to raise, but I mean, I'm hoping it's way more than you thought.
I hope so. I mean, we obviously discussed much like amounts and stuff, but like to be generously very, very honest, like anything will help at this point. We've had a lot of big anonymous donators so far. So that people are like, I don't want to compete, but can I donate money? Absolutely. The PayPal link is there. We will make a great announcement every day. Our plan is that when the comp is up and running, that we could send JF some lump of cash here and there to still help out with some expense that he has had to gone through over the last few days. So I hope we can over exceed what we were thinking. And yeah, people are just jumping in. Like we've had great amounts of help from Strength Collective, and then Brian Shaw was like about his companies. He put they had they're gonna gear up our top winners and stuff. It's just really cool. And then we have like Zone and Misfit, all these companies from Canada too that want to help out a Canadian fella. So it's cool. JF's companies, like they're all jumping in, and it's really fun. I mean, this means that there is a lot of love and care for that human beings. We are doing something right.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, so with the events in the, I see, they're just two classes, men and women. Are you doing weight classes? Is it depending on how many people you get, or how are the prizes working?
No, we have three. We have women's and men. That's it. Top three. We were gonna do just top prize because we had like just over $1,000 of money, and then we have a bit of supplement stuff. So we're like, okay, let's just do top prizes. But then now we have lots to do. First, second, and third. I don't have it on paper here. It's all on my phone. But we have. I think it's well over $1,000 for first place, and then you get supplements, gear, ammonia, clothing from Misfit, clothing from I think it's there's just lots of things. And then second and third get like $300 and $200. But I think it's the point of, yes, it's great. We have great prizes, but I think hopefully next week when people do do their events, hopefully they just have that quick thought of JF and how if that make them push a little 5 extra pounds or 10 extra pounds. I was thinking of JF during those lifts.
Yeah, definitely. So I had actually just signed up. I'm walking through the competition because I'm old, and those events are I don't want to do a max yoke. So I'm nursing a bad knee, and I'm trying to get to my next competition because I have yoke in my next competition. So I trained it a little bit, and my knee wasn't happy. So I'm going to try to like baby that. So like, but yeah. I did donate to let people know too. So it's $50 Canadian. When I did it, the transfer rate it was like $40.68 American to sign up. And so basically what I did, I basically just donated. So what you're asking people is, if you don't want to compete, you still want people to donate, to chip in. So I know you have it set up. It's lift4jf@hotmail.com. Is that what it's set through on PayPal?
Yeah, exactly. It's that that's the link to the PayPal. There's also I think a barcode scan that you guys can go through on our social media. You guys can scan that barcode and it'll bring you right to that PayPal. But yeah, again, we've had lots of tremendous donations so far. Great love and support. If you guys want to, you can donate $50 for your registration. If you want to donate 60 or whatever, you can donate as much as you want. And we're just hoping that everyone has, as much fun as they can next week while they're doing their videos, and all in a great cause.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. The online stuff gets kind of fun in the competition aspect of it. But yeah, the little QR code, that's how I did. I just scanned it off of that, but I actually picked it up off of the Clash website. So it's Clash SPS, which is, I don't know what that stands for. Something Pro Series.
Yeah, Strength Pro Series.
Okay, so that's their website is clashsps.com, and they have a Lift for JF page right on there with the QR code that you could just take your phone, scan that, and it went right to your name, popped up because you guys are running it. So you can make the donation right through that. And then all the information is to sign up on there. Also, if you actually want to sign up for the competition, or like I said, you can just donate, and it's all going to a good cause.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm excited.
Yeah, I hope, like I said, I would think too. I know me personally that if I did it and I won, this is for charity. Like, hopefully they just take that money and don't want it. They just say, just give it to JF, because that's what this is for. Like, it's crazy, the outpouring of support, from the pro level. You expect it from the pro level, from your other athletes and from the people in the sport. But to see people that maybe you've never met JF, they just watch them on TV and they like them. That for them to donate and understand. That's the thing too I want to talk about. Some people don't realize that you guys as professional athletes, like, this is your only source of income. So it's not just the covering the medical bills, it's covering their mortgage, their utilities, their food, because you compete, you win your money, you compete, but then you get paid to go do appearances, your sponsorship, most of you guys all are coaching or own gyms, and if you're hung up in a hospital with like both legs being out, he's probably not doing nothing for a while.
Exactly. Like, once you're taken out, It's like a hockey player. If you can't play hockey anymore, right, you're out, and it's unfortunate. But it is the name of our sport. We never want it to happen, ever want it to happen to one of our fellow men. I mean, anyone from amateur to pro, but at that professional athlete, that's how JF's making a living. And now that he won't be able to go out and compete, a world's strongest man, et cetera, that is going to be a little bit less of an income for him. And obviously with all those medical bills and then living, right, eating, and he's not able to make his way to the gym and go train his clients. And so, yeah, it's very unfortunate. His life just, took a huge break there, and we're just trying to make it a little bit easier for him to moving forward. Hopefully it just generates like some sort of really great positivity in his recovery.
Yeah, it's just stuff like this is actually something maybe sometimes easier for the amateur because like our jobs, like I know like with my job, I have health benefits and they cover me if I'm off, but that's not my own income. When I heal up, I just go back to work. You can go back to work. A lot of people can go back if they have an office job. They can have their leg in a cast or their arm in a sling. They can
Yeah.
go back to work, but if your livelihood is your body and the lifting and stuff like that, like you lose everything for that time being. So this is a great thing that you guys are doing. I mean, I really hope it goes well above and beyond, what you thought of at first, and I think it will.
Thank you. I really hope it does. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, getting a couple other guys involved, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see the numbers really sky up. And I'm sure Jeff would be very appreciative of all the work you guys are doing for him and all the love going his way.
He has been very, very grateful. And I know that he would do the same for any of us, right? He's really that type of person that just, he knows what the sport means to us. He knows how hard we work. And if someone falls, we're all there to pick him up. And that's what we're trying to send the message out there, that if you're at the top, if you're a great mentor up there, and if you fall, you have got a lot of people that are there to support you. So that's the message that we're trying to send out there.
Yeah, yeah, it's really nice to see the outpouring for him because I have met him a few times and like he's always been nice. I know I met him at the Arnold. I think the first time was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I met him up down at Worlds and that. So it's just yeah, just I feel one of the nicest guys. I mean, he's quiet and like he's a little fucking intimidating when you first meet him.
It's the traps.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think all these guys like it's crazy just how big like real life these guys are when you see them.
But
I mean,
best hugs, I swear.
I didn't get a hug, so I don't know. I can't attest to that.
They're big teddy bears. They're very huge, but like their heart is as big. Like any one of them, like I mean, they do. Some of them, like I know Jeff seems a little bit more shy, but once you break that barrier, like he's the most genuine person and will literally give his shirt off his back for you. And yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do here for Jeff, just to show him how much we appreciate him.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I think with him too, maybe it's a little bit of the language because like French is his
Yeah,
first language, right? So his
yeah,
English, I mean, it's not bad, but I'm sure if you're speaking something you're not 100% confident when you're talking to fans and they don't understand you. So I think maybe
yeah.
that's part of his little.
Max and JF are quite the same too. Like they're not really comfortable when it comes to English, just because yeah, that is not our first language, and it can be intimidating. But they're getting better.
Yeah, yeah. Max is definitely. It was when I interviewed him last year. Like it was a rough interview because like he's not. And I was told too. I'm good friends with Lance, Cerberus Canada,
Yeah.
Lavalle. I don't know how to say his
Yeah.
last name.
Mm.
And he told me he's like you need to have Max and Sam. They're a team. You need to have them both on. I'm like, no, you know what? I want to have Max because he was the one that went to Worlds. I don't want to take nothing away from him. And I think Lance was giving me a heads up, like, well, Max doesn't talk, like Sam's the talker. So,
Definitely.
but yeah, I definitely want to have you on at some point to talk more about your accomplishments. Real quick. So you guys started a YouTube channel now. I've seen.
Yeah, we did. Just today we launched it. Very excited about it. It's been a long time coming, but we finally got the perfect match for a video guy. It was perfect. He came up with us a whole weekend, and Simo's been taking really good care of us. He's kind of like our little manager now, and just taking really good care of our social media and stuff. And he grabbed a lot of good content as much as he could, and he's gonna follow us around now this year at the big shows, and hopefully we can just keep you guys entertained. I know that Max and I are very different. Like I'm the little crazy one,
Yeah.
a bit more serious one, but I think that kind of like it evens things out, and we just genuinely love our sport so much that we just want to show people what we here in Canada.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely I just subscribed to it too because I seen it pop up, so I subscribed. I'll be following it. The YouTube stuff fun because one of the reasons I do this also is we all see some of these athletes, on TV and in these shows, but they're real people too. So it's nice to talk to them and learn about them. And the YouTube channel is a great way to do that, to see the fun side, to see the behind the scenes side. Real quick, so my wife has a concern about Maxime though. He punches himself way too much, and she's always worried he's gonna knock himself out because he was doing it again, and she's like, he needs to stop punching himself because he really gets. I mean, he gets so intense sometimes that she gets a little worried for him.
I know I'm worried too, but you know what? I think his IQ is about the same as when he first started, so we're good.
So he's hard headed. What you're saying? So he ain't gonna hurt himself.
No, exactly. And then he'll hit himself in the head and he's like, slap me in the back. And I'm like, you're crazy. I, I'll just take a bunch of ammonia, but he's a little bit crazier than that. So I
Yeah.
think he's kind of like, I think he needs to, well, we all have our ways to get hyped up and kind of just, it's very hard to get rid of every outside noise and voices that you hear in your head. Like we have, honestly, we have doubts. We have voices that are always like out there just talking to us, trying to, because we're human beings. There's a lot of negative shit out there. And like, there's ways that we just need to really zone out, which is hence why we have ammonia. I
Mhm.
really believe that ammonia is my savior when it comes to, I'll smell ammonia or get my, and then I feel like it's me and the barbell or me and the implement, right? So, Max, yeah,
The,
he's a
the, the funny thing with Mac is he doesn't show as much emotion like leading
no,
up to it. So he's very like calm, gets into his head, gets his thing going, and then right before he like it's like a switch and he just unleashes that. Where some people are amped up the whole time, and to me, like and to each their own. I mean, some people need that to talk themselves like almost like a caged tiger. They're pacing back and forth, and then some people like watching Bobby Thompson. He had to go log right after JF, I think. So he's
yeah,
ready to go. And then that happened. So it was a good 45-minute wait, probably almost an hour.
yeah, he had the time I think to almost restart his whole warm up in the back.
And I know they had asked him, and Bobby said, I know, like, I don't worry about that happened to me. Like, you watch it. Okay. Just go back into your progressions. And Bobby's funny because Bobby goes to a dark, I've had him on the show before, and he talks about like, he goes to a dark place. He doesn't get amped up. Like he just, if you look at him probably before a competition, he's a little bit scary. Hence the American Nightmare name.
Yes, yes, yeah,
So
but and then it's funny to say that because Bobby's probably one of the biggest teddy bears out there. Very genuine, very delicate person, but the guys have a job to do, and when they're up for the job, they have to really focus because if they don't perform well, that might take them out of the next competition or outside of the comp itself. Max is a very, very quiet person. He really thinks to him, like when he is ready for that lift, he's very quiet. And then the second they call his name up, that's where he starts get fired up. He saves all that energy for the lift. I think we're both kind of like that actually. When we warm up, we sit down, we'll listen
mhm.
to our music. When it's time to go, we get fired up in our own different ways, but we get really fired up. And um, Max and I can't really go at that dark place. Like we've trained a couple times, like very, and it's not for everyone. Max and I are very, we need to live for the good reasons, the good positive energy. But I mean, not every, you have to find what works for you. People
Mhm.
think about their grandma. Some people will think about their next meal. Some people, everyone's thinking differently. Like we all have a reason why we're doing our sport. And I think when you can think of that reason before leading up to a lift, that's what's going to make or break you as a lifter.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's a little different. The whole dark place thing, like if you don't have a dark place to go to, like if you don't have you can't create that. So if there's something you can pull on that's happened to you in the past or something, some negativity. For me, sometimes it's negativity that people said about you and like use that as like your fuel sometimes. And that's something personal to everybody. Like you can't share that with nobody. That has to be your thing. That whether
Yeah.
it's a certain song that takes you to a certain place, it just gets your head clear. But yeah, you and Max are a lot alike, but a lot different too.
Yes, exactly. We're very both alike, but very different. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say about? So, what I'm gonna do is post this podcast. I'm gonna post this
Yeah.
on YouTube also. I'll put the links for everything on that. So, is there anything else you want to say about this before we end?
No, I really want to thank everyone that is watching this podcast and also going to support Live for GF. I think if we can all help out a hero in need right now, I think this is the time to do it. So yeah, let's all get together and make the best of this opportunity. I mean, we never know when there's another one that's going to be falling down, and we just got to keep ourselves all together intact with like glue. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Thank you, and hopefully this helps a little bit. You mentioned the GoFundMe. And I don't have the information on that. Do you know what the GoFundMe is offhand that we can share that
No,
also?
so sorry. I know Simo we posted a little bit on our social medias and stuff, but I know it's on Facebook. Simo, his coach, has started that and it was doing really well. But you guys could find a link definitely on JF's social
Okay.
media.
Yeah, I think that's where I saw it and bring that up. But So,
Perfect.
so the registration ends on the 11th
Tomorrow night.
and then it's a week long from the 12th to 19th for the videos. If for
Yes.
some reason people listen to this after the fact, are you going to keep that that open for if someone wants to donate a month out of the advance, or are you going to like close it out or just leave it go? And if people still keep donating, just keep going to JF?
Honestly, we haven't even got that far.
Okay.
But I can't see us closing that PayPal right away. It'll always be open for a bit until donation stops. We will definitely keep it open for another 2-3 weeks until
Okay.
have a really good gift for JF, and I hope really we can help out that gentleman.
Yeah, definitely awesome. Like I said, I know I contributed in, and I'll be paying attention, and we'll see what we can do to help JF get back on the mend.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Sam.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye.